What is up, rockers of the Rock Nation? This is your fellow rocker X, Rockerman X here. And well, I'm here with my TLC review finally at 4 o'clock in the morning since I was just now able to watch it. Thanks to WWE Network being wonky while it was live. And before I go on my review though, serious question though. Is WWE Network wonky for any of you guys out there other than me? It's a serious question. Because when something's live and I'm trying to watch it, either it freezes at a certain point or it kicks me off network. Or something. I want to know if does that happen to you guys as well or what? But anyway, here's my review for WWE TLC Tables, Ladders, Chairs, and Stairs. I will say, I'm glad at least some of my predictions came true tonight. About 3 or 4 of them, I think. I'll have to look, actually, as I read through here and actually see. But, you know. But, yeah. And I will also say, too, that I was more impressed by it than what I actually thought I was going to be impressed by it, to be honest. Some of the matches were actually better than expected. I will say that. Even though a lot of them still sucked in a way. But, another thing too, the ringside area was not safe tonight for anybody. Especially in that TLC match later that night. And I'll get more on that here in a minute. And yes, I'm drinking that Coke or Cola, which is that generic, whatever. Anyway. But, for the first match that I was able to semi-watch before it kicked me off network, and then it just wouldn't load at all. A pre-show match. New Day versus Stardust and Goldust. And before I say anything on this, my prediction was right. New Day won. Woo. But seriously though, on a serious note, this match was actually more than probably what I expected on a pre-show match. Because the pre-show match, I expected a 2-3 minute match and that's it. Well, at least I can say this tag team match was around 10 minutes. So it was actually a good old-fashioned wrestling match, and I can give it that. And what I also find funny, too, is throughout the whole time, JBL, Lawler, and Cole kept talking about the Great Kazoo. In case, for the younger viewers who don't know who the Great Kazoo is, look up the Flintstones, and it's an old-ass show that I even remember watching. I'm 19, so what does it tell you? But that's mainly because Stardust is wearing a new green attire, and I can say, I like the fact Stardust changes up attires every so often. It keeps it from being boring somewhat, but anyway. Overall, for this match in particular, I will say it was back and forth, at least until I have Star and Gold in my notes, but Stardust and Goldust ended up getting control, and from there, after Stardust, aka Cody Rhodes, did the variation of the Boston Crab. From that point on, basically, they're still in control for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, Kofi was able to get in Big E, and from there, they went back and forth, and of course, Kofi and Big E did their double T move. I think it's called the Midnight Hour. I'm not for sure on that, if that's actually what it's called. I actually had to look up spoilers, since WWE Network was being wonky on me during this match as well. But, of course, Kofi pinned Stardust and picked the win for New Day. Overall, as I said, this match was a good match for a pre-show match, or kickoff show match, if you want to say. And honestly, this is probably better than some of the matches on the main card. I say some because there actually was some that I actually classified as better as. But overall, though, I give this rating a 2.5. Nothing really simple. It was actually a pretty good match, if you ask me, for what it was. And yes, if any of you guys say my ratings are suckish, well, I'm sorry, these are just my opinions on where I feel like the matches should be of the night. And here we have the first match on the actual show. Luke Harper versus Dolph Ziggler. And the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. And sadly, my prediction in this one didn't come true. Dolph Ziggler picked up the win against Luke Harper to become the new Intercontinental Champion. And overall, though, I will say, though, they kept saying Dolph Ziggler's from Cleveland. I did not know that, because Cleveland, Ohio, of course, is in my home state. And it's just kind of funny thinking that. I didn't know that until now. And of course, 9 times out of 10 though, now that I think of it, I probably would have picked Ziggler if I knew that though, to be honest, because usually the home state or hometown boys win. Normally when they're in their hometown. So simple as that. But I still would have wished Luke Harper would have won either way, because Luke Harper, I feel like he got cheaped or gypped of the Intercontinental Championship as soon as he got it. But there's really nothing you can do about it. It's WWE. But I will say, though, for the opening match of the night on the actual match card, this was a damn good brawl for an opening match. Harper, give him those ladders. He's fucking sadistic as hell. And there's actually blood, shockingly, from like Ziggler's head and stuff like that. I mean, of course, later on the night, there's only one other match that I noticed blood. But still, at least there's actually blood in this, and I kind of like that, especially from the TLC pay-per-view. You expected more out of that and Extreme Rules than probably most of the other pay-per-views, but still. And there's plenty of good moments in this match. Like, for example, Ziggler doing his signature DDT from the ladder on Harper. And I also will say that for a ladder match in this era, the PG era, which I still think is slightly going back to more TV-14 stuff, hopefully anyway, it was better than most of them I've seen, and I will say it's not quite up there, but I can give it a decent marking to where it is somewhat up there with the first ever ladder match, Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon. And that was a good match, as we all know, too. There you go. But overall, ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, I give it 4. Dolph Ziggler winning and regaining the title. Now, the next match of the night, I was semi-right with this prediction. Sadly, it wasn't fully right, because it ended in DQ, thanks to Miz. But what can I say? Miz and Mizdow are still tag team champions no matter what, and the Usos won by DQ. But overall, and this was for the WWE Tag Team Championship as well, so, it's a little bit different. At least it wasn't a straight pinfall match, but still. And as much as I don't like it, and personally, too, during this match, as much as I personally don't like the Usos, because seeing them as tag champs forever just drained me of even wanting to look at them or see them in a match. It's good that at least went for some kind of other move, especially that submission, which you don't see him go for a submission all that often, whichever Uso it was that went for the submission. But overall, I say this match was decent. It could have been better. And also, serious question as well, is it just me? Or does all y'all, I should say, better yet, also look at and pay more attention to Mizdow than the actual match sometimes? Being serious. I pay more attention to what Mizdow is doing half the time. But overall, this match, as I said, for the WWE Tag Team Championships, Miz and Mizdow are still champion because the Usos won by DQ. And overall, I give this match about a 2. Being honest. Now, here we have the next match. Erick Rowan versus Big Show in the first ever stairs match. And I will say this, I did question the stairs match a whole lot. But I was actually impressed by it for it being the first one. I mean, I doubt there'll be any other ones in the near future or next year's, but you never know that. But I will say the match was, like I said, did impress me. And really, it was just another brawl, which for this type of pay-per-view, TLC, that's what the matches should be. Just an all-out brawl. Nothing fancy, nothing simple, especially with this being against 2 big men as well. But overall, I was wrong on the prediction again. Big Show did pick up the win, however. And overall, I gotta admit, like I said, I was impressed by this stairs match, and I give it this about a 3. Actually, too, another thing, though, before I finish on that match, do you find it funny how Big Show went over to the announcer and was like, "You gentlemen feeling nervous?" I actually laughed at that. And I will say Big Show is, as I might have said before, one of my favorite guys from the Attitude Era and stuff like that that's still around today. So there you go. But as I said, stairs match, the first ever stairs match, Erick Rowan versus Big Show. Big Show picked up the win, and I give this match a 3. And now the next match of the night, which again I predicted it correctly. Gotta go WWE here on these things, but John Cena versus Seth Rollins in a tables match with Cena's #1 contendership on the line. And now, as much as I hate giving any John Cena match any credit, I will say this was a pretty damn good match as well. But one thing, though, I really have, though, on the stairs match and the tables matches and the ladder matches and the chairs matches, I mean, I understand what they're labeled, but why didn't we see any other weapons brought into play? I kind of wish we would have, like, tables match. I kind of wish we would have seen chairs, would have seen ladders, stuff like that. We would have. I kind of wish, since the matches are basically all-out brawls, or supposed to be, I kind of wish we would have seen other weapons in these matches. I mean, yeah, like stairs match, of course, probably had a rule where you could only use the stairs, but the chairs match, that was a they also changed a chairs match, like the style of it and how it's actually supposed to be executed. Seems like every time there's one, because I remember one, you're supposed to bury your opponent in chairs on the things, and I know that was a John Cena one, but still, if you think about it, it's just weird how they changed that style of match almost every time you look at it. But you figured still, at least you would have seen more weapons. But anyway, tables match, like I said, I was impressed by this one, and it was actually pretty good, especially seeing a tables match done differently for once too, from what you're normally used to. I mean, we had the tables set up on the top rope. Rollins, I can't talk about. We had, like I said, you had the table set up on the top rope. We had Rollins and Mercury, I believe, literally trying to throw the table through Cena, as in smash it through him, maybe. But I don't think that would. But personally, I don't think that would count though as an elimination, or not elimination, but as a win, because you technically didn't put him through. You basically just put the table through him. If that makes any sense at all. But. And then, of course, we had Cena, though, bringing the good old-fashioned steel barricade, which is something. Well, other than that, that was actually another weapon that I was talking about, but still. And at least this stuff, too, I haven't seen it in a while, if it happened before. But that's something that actually did impress me, seeing these other styles to try to use the table and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I know it probably happened in the older days, but I don't remember a lot of shit that happened, to be honest. I honestly don't. And another thing, too, I will say this. I like Noble and Mercury as wrestlers, but as Jay and Jay Security, it was actually nice seeing them be put through the table with a good old attitude adjustment, or, as I call it, because I hate calling it the AA or attitude adjustment, the FU. Simple as that. But it was nice seeing Jay and Jay Security go through the table. And another thing that really made this match good, though, was that both men went through the table, which in turn caused the match to restart. And you don't see restarts that much anymore, if any at all. But the best part of the match I found, as much as I didn't really want Cena to win, I kind of knew he was going to win, because I had a feeling him versus Brock was going to happen at Royal Rumble. And it really tells you, too, that Cena was going to win anyway, if you looked at later promos they showed, especially when they possibly already have the clips and stuff together for it. But I will say, Reigns returning at TLC, fucking awesome. Seeing him come out and Superman punch Big Show, who was trying to help Rollins by putting Cena through the table. And then, of course, he speared Big Show. He Superman punched Big Show, speared him through the table, speared Big Show through the table. And, of course, he Superman punched Rollins, which allowed Cena to, of course, AA, or, as I call it, an FU, Rollins through the table, and of course Cena wins. Now, as I said, I love this match is one of the better matches of the night. There's 3 that's actually really high rating matches too for me. This being the second, the latter being the first, and one of them I'll give you a hint which one I actually like the most. Well, I won't give you a hint, but still. Well, the thumbnail will probably give a hint which one I like the most. But overall, I will say, it's kind of obvious Cena was going on, because of course it's Super Cena, but at the same time though, with Rollins returning as well, my thoughts are probably true, and the rumors circulating are probably true, because Roman Reigns himself said that he's officially entered in the Rumble for next month, and with the Royal Rumble, of course, I have a feeling it's going to be Roman Reigns winning. He's going on to face Brock at WrestleMania, because Cena's probably going to lose that Royal Rumble. And because tonight was just the start of the Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns feud, I'm pretty sure. Simple as that. But overall, as I said, this match I really did enjoy, shockingly. But I give it a 4.5 rating. That's like the second highest. Well, yeah, the second highest one. Now, and then the next match, we have AJ Lee versus Nikki Bella. Another one that was right. But this was for the Divas Championship. And now, you all know my opinions on Divas, and I will say this, Nikki Bella won cheaply by spraying something in AJ's eyes. But at least they're starting to bring back more, again, like I said, Attitude Era style, stuff like that, especially with the cheap tactics and stuff like that, which I kind of like. Especially coming from a diva. That's actually kind of shocking. And I will say for once, though, too, that for a Divas match, this match seemed more like a wrestling match. And honestly, you guys can probably thank AJ for that for the most part. And honestly, too, whatever Nikki sprayed in AJ's eye, I want to actually know what it was. I mean, it's probably just perfume or something like that. And ironically, she's the first person to basically go blind tonight. But, of course, if you guys watched it, or if you're sitting and listening to me rant about it, Nikki Bella won by that cheap perfume or whatever the fuck she sprayed in AJ's eye tactic to remain Divas Champion. Now, again, though, I will say it was a Divas match. My Divas matches usually don't rank very high anyway. So it's simple, it's only a 1.5, but that's probably higher than what most are. Except for maybe my NXT ratings for Divas matches, but still. Let me think. What else am I thinking? Next match of the night. Kane versus Ryback in a chairs match. Now, again, this match, I understand it's called tables, ladders, and chairs, but this chairs match does not impress me, really. I'm being perfectly honest. This match, I'm going to read exactly what I have written down. Or not read exactly, but I'm basically going to explain. Like I said, this match to me was nothing special, at least to me. I don't know to you guys. But at the same time, too, I honestly feel like this should have just been a normal match instead of a chairs match. Because really, it felt like a regular match. Even with just like a no DQ match is basically what it felt like. Nothing really, it's just really not really a chairs match. Because to me, it seemed like that match was hyped up way too much. I mean, Kane, yes, he was my pick over my gut feeling. He's one of the old school guys, but of course, then you have, but the WWE's been using him so wrong. And I think if he returned as Masked Kane, we all would appreciate that a little bit better. And I mean the original Masked Kane format, but sadly it probably won't happen. And then of course Ryback being the new face. Everybody loves Ryback, as I said before. So yeah, but this match was really nothing special in my book anyway. But Ryback picked up the win, and I give this match a 2.5. So it was up there, but it wasn't up there. Now the next match of the night, Rusev versus Jack Swagger for the United States Championship. And before I say anything, because I have nothing to talk about in this match, Jack Swagger should have won by far, but no, he didn't, sadly. Rusev won, retaining the U.S. Championship. This is all I gotta say. Can we please, one time, see Rusev lose by either pinfall or submission? Please. Especially when Jack Swagger was so close to breaking Rusev's fucking ankle. I would have loved to see that happen, but sadly it didn't happen. I understand WWE's trying to do something and bring heat to Rusev and bring heat on the U.S. Championship. Because you gotta admit, a lot of people probably don't care for the U.S. Championship anymore. And that's probably the only interesting thing why. But I just think Rusev needs to lose it. And go for the Intercontinental. I'd rather see him with the Intercontinental than the U.S., to be honest. But it's just fucking ridiculous. You guys already know my complaint, but Rusev picked up the win over Jack Swagger. He's still United States Champion. With the middle finger in the air. Fuck you. But, yeah, overall, there's a match is only a 1 in my book. Now here comes my favorite match of the night. Probably the most sadistic one, too. What the fuck was up with the Evil Eye? Probably the most sadistic one. I mean, before you guys say, you guys know my pick. My pick 1, Bray fucking Wyatt. Thank you, Lord. Even though Dean Ambrose is an Ohio boy, and it was in Ohio, but still. I am from Ohio, but, you know. Oh well. And overall, though, this match, to me, was just an all-out war. I mean, they fought in the crowd, they fought on the ramp, they fought close to the stage, fucking went to the pre-show / kickoff table, Ambrose did, so what can I say? This match was holy fuck, and the other weapons were actually brought into the TLC match, per se, mainly just the kendo stick, but still. At least we saw another weapon. And I will say, though, Bray Wyatt was innovative with that kendo stick, putting into the... I want to say the slot, not slot, but he put in the thing on the ropes, or on the post. If you guys should know what I'm talking about. If you guys watched it, or if you watch Raw tomorrow night, I'll probably show it. But that was an innovative way to use kendo stick, I will say that. On this match, like I said, all-out brawl. Dean Ambrose putting Bray Wyatt through not one, not two, but 3 tables, one of them being the announce table. But I will say, though, Ambrose's downfall was when was the TV monitor blowing up in his face, as my thumbnail shows. And based off that blowing up, though, to be honest, I don't think that was actually supposed to happen. I think, well, I know they can rig stuff up to happen that way, too. In the end, he's the second person to get blinded tonight. But these two had a damn good match, but more on the TV situation, though. Ambrose, I think he was based off what happened there, I think he was actually supposed to win. But I'm so glad Bray won. I think it was one of those moments in WWE where they have to, or any wrestling when stuff like that happens, when they have to improvise, because after something like that happens, you kind of, because I think what actually was supposed to happen, to be honest, was I think what happened was Ambrose forgot to unplug it or something, like he was supposed to probably, and he was actually probably supposed to use it instead of it blowing up in his face. But then again, you don't know for sure. And then I think, but if it goes off my way, if Ambrose probably supposed to win where he forgot to unplug it or whatever, and it wasn't supposed to blow up, like I said, I think it was one of those times they had to improvise. And of course, Bray had to do his finisher and of course win. And based off what happened, like I said, I think Ambrose was really supposed to win since, you know, the Ohio boys tonight. They're in Ohio. You know, Ziggler, technically lost, but he retained the title. And of course, Ambrose from Cincinnati. You don't find it funny, though, too. Unless there's some kind of punny, I don't know. Of course, I know they can rig stuff up that way, but, you know, Ambrose being in Cincinnati, though, would be kind of funny if it was some kind of thing, since the Bengals beat the Browns. Ambrose and being from Cincinnati, and of course, Miz and Ziggler being from Cleveland would win, and of course, Ambrose lose being from Cincinnati. Kind of ironic, or funny per se, but again, I don't think that was supposed to happen, the TV blowing up in his face. But overall, even if it was a freak accident, it still made for a good moment in WWE. It still made for a good moment tonight. But that was his downfall, was the TV. And overall, for the TLC match, even if my complaint is that it was a pinfall submission one, but then again, too, for being a TLC match and it being pinfall and submission, it would make sense if that was set up, too, the TV blowing with. But anyway, Bray Wyatt picked the win over Dean Ambrose. Bray Wyatt, and people, yes, before you say anything, I already know I probably look like Bray Wyatt, but oh fucking well. And this TLC match was my highest rated match of the night out of 5. Simple as that. This match was obviously the best one of the night, especially for it being the main event. But thank God I finally was able to record this. As I said before, more videos will be to come, guys. Or rockers, I should say. And if you guys feel like it, you guys can like this video, comment on this video, like or comment on any of my videos. And if you, any newcomers to the channel, you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. If you guys like my videos and me talking and stuff like that. And there will be other videos to come, by the way, people, too. It's just for now, these are the usual videos I'm trying to stick to and actually do. But yeah. Also, the match ratings will be in the description as well. if you guys want to look at them separately, in case you missed what I was talking about. And really, guys, until next time, Rockers, live free and rock.